Okay, so thank you very much and welcome to our press conference today to introduce our new manager to Gloucester City. So we're very proud and pleased and privileged to have Paul Groves here today. We wanted to invite the press media to come to the ground this afternoon to ask some questions and do a formal press interview. So if I can open up the floor first of all to anyone got any first questions? Isaac.
Well, Paul, first of all, welcome to Gloucester City. What was it that attracted you to join the club? And Alex, how pleasing is it that we've got someone of Paul's quality in?
I'll let Paul answer that question first because his opinion might change my response.
For me, it was it's the whole package in terms of what the club's trying to do, where it's trying to get to, and where it is now in respect of, it's a full-time model. Obviously, it's started the season very well, so for me it was an exciting opportunity.
Yeah, from our point of view, we were very, very keen to bring Paul to Gloucester. So because of his location, it was a little bit more difficult than it would be trying to get a manager over here that was already in the country. So we were very, very keen to bring Paul. There was numerous Zoom meetings and WhatsApp calls and all the other bits and pieces in the current technology. So yeah, we were delighted and we're very honoured to have Paul with us today. Yeah, just go up to the mic. You can take your mask off for the question if you want.
Oh yeah, welcome to Gloucester. Have you had a chance to meet any of the players yet so far?
Yes, I took the first session today, so the players showed their level of commitment that they've showed in some of the games, and they trained well today. So for me, everything that I've had back with regards to the players has been positive. So again, it's a challenge that I'm looking forward to, and the sooner we get going, the better.
And what are your thoughts on the squad so far? Are there any changes you think you might make to them? Or?
I think that's an ongoing process with regards to assessing the squad. Obviously, there's been some good work done here. You can tell, obviously, the start that they've had, the goals that they've scored. So from my point of view, it's trying to assess them, work with them, help them, improve them, and try to add to what we've already got in the building in terms of the level of quality, and obviously keep going in a positive direction.
And do you have any idea how the team might line up this weekend against Curzon Ashton?
Yeah, I would have a rough idea as to where I'm going to go with it, but I need to work with them again tomorrow and have a look at one or two things just to finalise things.
And are there any updates on Matt McClure? Obviously he's out injured. Do you know how soon he might be able to come back?
Yeah, no, Matt's looking well and he's going in the right direction. So we'll have to see whether he's available for the weekend, but he's certainly going in the right direction. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cool.
Hi, Paul Kelsey, Mario, 7 Sport. Just following on from that question, really, have you got any key areas of recruitment that you've already earmarked for the club?
I think it's probably early to start talking about recruitment in respect of obviously where you look at where the squad is. For sure, if we feel that there's areas that need addressing, then that's what we'll do. But I think the players have earned the right to go out there and stake a claim. Everybody starts with a clean slate. So for me, it's assessing, as I've said, that what we've got and going from there.
And Alex, you said you're going to back Paul as well in the transfer market. How, from a chairman's point of view or co-chairman's point of view, how necessary is that for you to come out with that public show support for Paul?
Well, I think it's important that we show support to any manager that's within the club, and Paul was the manager that we wanted to bring to the club, so we have to honour our commitment now to show the faith that we've put in Paul and give him hopefully some new tools and new weapons to go out there and keep improving on the pitch. Obviously we have lost a couple with 2 players leaving, so a more defensive player and an attacking player, so that budget's automatically come back in, so hopefully between Paul and Paul's team now that we can go forward and see what we can attract in the forthcoming January transfer window, because that's probably the best time for us to look to bring anyone in. I wouldn't have thought there'd be anything immediately unless Paul's got anything up his sleeves or he brought a player in his suitcase.
Look, from facing Tottenham in European competition this season to the National League North certainly some switch, and probably one that not many people would make. Was it an easy decision for you to leave and to join Gloucester?
I think the challenge of coming to Gloucester was an easy decision, and what the club's trying to achieve, for sure. Obviously, I came from a club that is obviously top of the league now, and I enjoyed my time there. But for me, it was the right time, and it's the right club for me. So overall, there's parts of the decision that are quite difficult, but at times it's about going forward and the position that you're in individually. And for me, the time's right to make the move and become the manager.
Alex, I'm sure you'd have looked to have cast your net pretty wide anyway,
Yeah.
but did you think you'd actually cast it as wide as Israel?
Well, the way it did, it's a good question. The way we did it was we opened up the CVs to basically anyone that wanted to apply, and we had, I think it was 62 applicants in total. And then we, as a team, so that was myself, Adi Ming, Steve Harvey and Tom Webb, we then identified Paul as someone that we wanted to bring to the club. Now that makes it a little bit difficult, because when you are opening up CVs, they're normally people that are out of employment at the moment. When we specifically then target someone to bring to the bring to the club initially, that makes it a little bit more challenging, because you then got to try and we're selling ourselves to that individual, which makes it a little bit different to them wanting to come here initially and them selling themselves to us, right? So it was a whole different mindset. So we managed to get in contact with Paul, and it was obviously slow going at the beginning. My Hebrew wasn't particularly strong, in fairness, and then after a couple of weeks we managed to start talking and opening up communications, and yeah, Paul was always the guy we wanted to bring here. So to bring him here was, well, I think it shows hopefully the commitment to the club that we have as a board, and yeah, we are really, really pleased.
And on that basis, how pleased are you that you didn't rush the appointment, because you couldn't have made this appointment within 24, 48 hours, could you?
No, correct. And you'll notice that as soon as we were aware of what was going on, that we needed a new manager, that we set I set a time scale out, and if you noticed, we actually followed it to the day. And the reason we could set the time scale out is because we had to work around releases and even flights. So the whole process was the reason that we set from where we started to the 9th was because we were trying to bring one person into the club, which we're pleased we've done. So yeah, it was a very difficult thing to overcome, and yeah, we're pleased we've done it.
And Paul, what excites you about the challenge here? Because there's not too many people who probably swap the warmth of the Middle East for the West Country on a wet and fairly depressing December Thursday afternoon.
You sell it so well. Thank God you weren't part of the interview panel.
I think if you had turned up at sort of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning, you wouldn't have been saying that. You know, the sun was shining and it was nice and fresh, and obviously the grass is very green. So for me, yes, there is the weather. There's a slight change, but it's not like I've not sampled it before. It's the challenge of the football club, taking the football club forward, and what it's trying to achieve. So for me, it was very exciting to try to get on board and, like I say, take things forward.
And the momentum that's here at the club, having returned to Meadow Park after all those 13 years away, how much is that something that you can tap into and look to build upon?
I think as a club, that's something that obviously everybody's trying to do. I think it's hugely important. So that's something that we'll continue to try to do on a consistent basis. And I think the biggest way to do it is to excite the fans and give them something to get behind and be excited about coming to the ground and watching their team play.
You've really worked across the levels in football. What is it about doing that appeals to you? Because there's not everyone who would step to this level from where you were, but you know, you've done it before. You've gone from Grimsby to Stafford, haven't you? So you know, moves like that and a career like that, you must have just such a wide breadth of knowledge of the game.
Passion, love for the game, and yes, I have got a depth of knowledge in respect of different levels played at and also sort of coached at. So I think that's that's something I will tap into. I think it's a strength of mine in respect of being able to sort of communicate and build relationships at different types of levels, because it brings about different challenges, and hopefully I can bring that experience that I've built up over the years, playing, coaching, and hopefully Gloucester benefit from that.
And you've got players like Gavin Gunning who've got a stack of Football League experience behind them. How useful is that to sort of as a starting point for you?
I think players with quality experience, with knowledge of playing in the league, they're a help to any football club. So somebody that like Gavin that's got his qualities, that's something that we need to bring to the fore and nurture as much as we possibly can to help the younger element within the group.
You've been asked already about possible targets and bringing people in. How big a factor is your contact book, both in the job that you're looking to do going forwards and also, Alex, in terms of the appointments as well?
You can go first.
I think probably in any industry, contacts are vital, and I think if your black book, if you want to call it, is bigger than most, I think it gives you a slightly better chance. So for sure it'll be one that an area that I'll be using to maximise everything that we possibly can.
Yeah, I think at the club we've put ourselves in a position over the past couple of years where players have actually now started to want to come here, because everyone wants to progress and hopefully do well, and hopefully people can see that we're a progressive club and we are looking to do one step better every season that we take to the field. So the type of person and player that we've always brought to the football club is someone that generally wants to be here. We speak about it a lot when we're profiling players. So the way it would normally work, and we haven't discussed this with Paul yet, but the way it would normally work is the manager would identify a player, that would go through AD Mings. AD Mings would then profile that player with the manager. That would then come to us as a board, or myself normally first of all. I would discuss it with Eamon and Steve to see whether it fits within the profile and the budget restraints that we've got, because at the end of the day, we're always going to be Gloucester City, and we're never going to have millions and millions and millions of pounds sadly stashed away under the mattress. So we've always got to make sure we bring the right person in, both financially and one that will fit within the group.
And Paul, having the artificial pitch out there, how much of an opportunity does that give you, A, to get the players very familiar with this place and used to being around it, but also an opportunity to maybe do a Harrogate?
I think the pitch obviously enables us to hopefully get an advantage from it, in respect of obviously we train on it every day. It is slightly different to the grass pitch. I think it lends itself to a more football possession based type of game. So from my point of view, it was another plus for joining. So on that side of things, I think it's something that we need to put to good use and hopefully give us an advantage.
Thank you both.
The pitch for us is important across the whole spectrum, really, because like Paul was saying, we had the training on it this morning with the first team. Then tonight we've actually got a game on it with the under-18s and our B-Tech squad, and then obviously after that there's training again. So the pitch is used at the football club very much every day.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Question I'm sure the fans can be very keen to know is, what style of play can we expect from the team? We can expect very, like you said, possession-based, great opportunities. You said you want to excite the fans. Are you looking to continue the great goal scoring record we've got?
For sure. I think that's something that a club that I've come from last year, where I was heavily involved, that was a similar sort of pattern in respect of the amount of goals. We scored the most goals in the league, so it was something that I'll look to continue, and like you say, possession based, and we'll look to attack teams for sure.
And Alex, question from one of the supporters online is, what are the 3 biggest challenges facing this club, and what are you putting in place to successfully overcome those?
The 3 biggest challenges at the football club pretty much change on a day-to-day basis at the moment. The 3 biggest challenges I'd say at the moment, well, we've overcome the first one, which was obviously bringing a manager in. But our biggest challenge, and something that we talk about every hour of every day, is COVID. We were discussing before we had this press conference around COVID bubbles and who can stand where and who can sit with what, because we need to make sure our bubbles are separate. The other challenge we have is just when we have to go away to games. Some of the travelling being in the Northern Leagues is pretty tough. Gateshead on a Tuesday night is always a challenge. And the third, and the one that we need to make sure that we never overstretch ourselves, is financially, because the keys and the rules at the football club always stay the same regardless of where we are in the table, which is don't go down, don't go bust. So we've always got to make sure that we stay on the sound financial footing that we're on now. What was your other point, sorry?
Just what have you put in place to try and overcome these measures?
So put in place, the COVID stuff is fairly huge here. We've got, well, you guys have all seen the rules we've had to put in place for today. But we've also got a COVID officer. We've got the club doctor. We've then got this assistant COVID officer. So that's an ongoing challenge. Financially, we obviously work within our budgets and we work within our means. Everything we do is always taken back to a balance sheet to make sure that we're not overstretching. And we have to just stay humble. We have to remember ourselves that, you know, our football club and our ground is built with shipping containers. So we have to always just stay humble and remember who we are and not get ahead of ourselves.
You touched on the financial side of things there.
Yeah.
Obviously the club are looking, hopefully, to try and get some fans in soon.
Yeah.
How much of a boost is that going to be? Obviously, not only financially, but how important is it going to be that after those 30 long years, the City fans are going to be able to watch a game back in their city, back at their own ground, watching their own team?
I think the most important thing from that isn't the financial one, it's the fact that the players are entertainers. Fabian Robert, for example, wants to play in front of the fans and do his tricks in front of the fans. Matt McClure wants to score his goals and run over to the fans. We're a very personable group, as we've touched upon already. So the group we've got here want to do well for the fans. They want to be here. The players that are in the dressing room today want to be here, and they want to make sure that they give back to the community and give back to the city. And their way of doing that is by winning games on a Saturday or in the games, because obviously you can't win every game, sadly. In the games where we don't win the game, they can show the heart, the desire and their attributes that they actually want to play for the city and for the club.
So I think one thing that fans will want to know is, where do you see yourself taking the club short term and then long term? Because the club is sitting top of the league at the moment by 3 points. Is that you now going to take it one game at a time, or have you set yourself the objective for where you want to finish in the league season?
I don't think you can ever get too far ahead of yourself. So first and foremost, it will be game by game for sure. I think when you're planning, then you've always got one eye on the future. But the most important thing is the next game, which is Saturday, and then there's another game on a Tuesday. So you can't look too far ahead, and you just have to make sure that you're prepared well and you're ready for that fixture on Saturday.
I mean, you touched on it there, the FA Trophy game next Tuesday, home tie in front of fans. Gloucester haven't had the best of records in the FA Trophy in the last few years. Is that going to be something that you're looking to rectify?
I think every game that we'll go into, we'll be looking to win. So whoever that may be against it on the Tuesday, then it's a game that we'll be putting a strong team out, and we'll be looking to go and win and progress through to the next round if we can.
And then just on a personal note, how good do you feel that you're going to be the first manager to manage a side in Gloucester in front of the fans in 13 years? I'm excited about the prospect. I'm excited about the team in terms of what it's shown already, the work that's been done here. Like I say, I want to try to add to that. So for me, it's a great opportunity, and one that I'm looking forward to, and very thankful to Gloucester for giving me that opportunity. And then when the fans do come in on Tuesday night, can they expect to see you up and down the touchline in the technical area, you know, waving your hands, or are you more of a subdued...
Sliding on his knees, you mean, giving it one of them?
Marino sort of stuff, yeah.
I think that's a difficult one, because I think at times, you know, sometimes the emotion of the game gets to you, but then I think at times you need to be calm, and the players need to see you calm. So I think I'll probably be mixed. I'm sure there's going to be times when you get I get a little bit frustrated with what happens, whether it be decisions or situations, but you try to keep yourself as calm as you possibly can. But football's a passionate game, and it means a lot to me, and I'm hungry, so I'm sure it will show at times on the touchline. Thank you.
On a slightly different note, Alex, you touched on that earlier about the youth playing this evening.
Yeah.
Obviously, for both of you, what are your thoughts on that youth academy? Are you looking to create a stronger link between them and the first team?
Yeah, so at the football club we're quite blessed. We've got 200 and whatever it is now in the academy, starting from under 8s, 9s all the way up through to 18s, and then next year hopefully with the 23s. We have obviously got Jim Hart now, which we're very pleased to have. Jim's doing a fantastic job as academy director. He's working tonight, for example, with AD Mings in the 18s with the BTEC team. So I think that alone shows the commitment that we've got into the youth and how much of a part of the club they are. First thing Paul's done today obviously is look at the squad that's come through, and in that squad you've got, today for example, Danny King came up, Ross Johnson came up through, and Jamie Bremer came in as well. So they're players that have played at the younger levels within the squad, and no doubt Paul will be around tonight as well to see what the under 18s and the BTEC team are going to put out in an inter-club internal friendly, if you want to call it that. So for us as a club, it's very important. Any player that we can bring through the ranks is obviously one that we haven't got to go out and actively find. So from our point of view as a club, it's very important.
Paul, is that a philosophy you share, that it's really important to have that link and try and bring the young players through into the first team?
Yeah, as it's already been pointed out, I've sort of had various roles within different football clubs, and for me the academy is vital at any football club, and especially here at Gloucester. And obviously, as Alex has mentioned, I've seen one or two of the younger element of the squad today, and was impressed with one or two of them. So I think it's twofold. I think also you bring local players through, and there's a real affinity then from the player with the club, and I think that you start to see that on the pitch, and if you can start to build on that and get more and more through, then for me it's a major positive.
Brilliant.
Anything else from anyone else? Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and we will hopefully go out again on Saturday and get a good result, and we'll keep looking to push forward as a football club. So thanks for all your support and everything you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.